have a brother. He is about a year and a half older than me, precisely. And he is a Taurus sun, Leo moon, and an Aquarius rising. I love Aquarius risings. They're very rare. Rare birds, and they like it that way. But he is so funny. My favorite thing about him is his sense of humor. And I will never forget one time when we were teenagers and he pointed out how not so funny or how weird TV shows, sitcom shows, how weird they are. Movies too, without music. Do you guys remember watching those sitcoms growing up where they would have like a fake audience or maybe a real one that was watching the acting, and then there would be a light that turned on and said, now laugh, laugh, clap, show joy, go, oh. Well, my brother somehow in the early 2000s found a way to pull out the laughter from TV shows. And he was like, watch the show without the comedic timing, the laughter in the background. And it's not funny. And so that stuck with me because I was like, wow, my Scorpio moon took that. His Leo moon was like, this is hilarious. Look at the art. Look how bad the art is when there's no forced laughter. My Scorpio moon was like, oh, how has the media been manipulating us this whole time? But it's interesting. Every time we watch a movie, we're always like, listen to the background noise. Listen to it. Even now, when you see like YouTube Reels or YouTube Shorts, I think they call them, or Reels on Instagram or TikToks, pay very close attention to the music that's playing in the background to add sound effects, because that music is affecting your ability to perceive something. Mr. Virgo was showing me this YouTube short the other day. He's like, look at this podcast, or look what he said about the government and something happening, blah, blah, blah. And I watched it. And I was like, okay, I mean, I usually don't watch these type of people, but he wanted me to see it. I watched it, and I was like, hey, pause. Do you hear the music and the sound effects, and do you see that it zooms in so close to his face when he says something, and then the music goes boom, boom? I was like, if we were to remove the zooming in on his eyes and the boom, boom music in the background, what would I actually feel with what he is saying? And so I pulled all those thematic effects out, and I was like, yeah, I think he's just being a Leo moon, which turns out he was a Leo moon. We looked it up. It was hilarious. But anyways, why I'm sharing all of this is Neptune retrograde. Neptune is the planet of dreams, aesthetic, vibes, gut feelings. And Neptune going retrograde is pulling the fake laughter in the back of the movie. It's pulling out all background music from the movies, from your shows, and saying, now watch this without the fog machine, without the fireworks and the music and the background manipulating a vibe, right? I feel like I sound really pessimistic saying this, because some of the best movies and artwork is a wonderful blend of putting the right music composing into a film or a short. You guys know, you've watched something where the music is perfect, but then other times, especially in today's day and age, I have to see where are they using all these sensory experiences to manipulate me into believing something. But I think of Neptune when I think of those things. It can really make a film, a song. Think of a music video for your favorite song. They cut to this scene, they cut to that scene. They're using images to manipulate a feeling they're trying to convey. Background music in movies, manipulating a feeling. We just watched this movie on Amazon Prime last night called Hail Mary. It was so good. Just what I was saying. Like, there really aren't any good movies. It was so Aquarius, Sagittarius. Yes, of course, I love to assign zodiac signs to feelings of movies. I loved it. I think that the director and the creators and producers behind that movie crushed it. And this is something with Jupiter and Leo that we fully expected to see, was a return of, that was a really good movie. Wow, I usually just listen to one song, but that entire album was amazing. Noah Kahan. I love Noah Kahan, my Vermont boy. I think that's what I hope that is what Jupiter and Leo brings to us. But Neptune going retrograde is not rare. I want to reiterate that. Neptune will be retrograde. Where did I write that down? Hold on. I want to give you the exact dates. July 7th is when it begins. all the way to December 12th. Neptune's going retrograde, aka we are pulling the background music from the movie of life for you to see, okay, when there isn't a vibe, music, song, color, smells, kind of manipulating the way I see someone, the way I feel something or experience my life, then what is left standing? Imagine you're in a movie theater, right? And you're getting the whole sensory experience. You're in a theater with many other people, but it's so dark and there's surround sound speakers and the screen is so big, it's like you're in the movie. But imagine right at the height of the movie when the music and the composition is like violins getting you worked up to get to a peak moment, and all of a sudden, boop, movie shuts off, lights all turn on. You're like, ow, geez, those are bright. And someone said, okay, what's actually going on here? What do you guys actually think of this right now? You know, I'm always very cautious of what I take in because I have now recognized and learned through myself, my lived experience, my astrology, of course, that I absorb and become what I take in. What's that movie that's going around right now? Elon Musk just posted it for free. Citizen Vigilante? Of course, Mr. Virgo's Scorpio moon was like, you gotta watch this most Scorpio moon story ever. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. I watched the trailer. I'm like, that's the theme and the undercurrent is badass. And I just can't watch it. I can't do blood. I can't do murder. I can't do gore. I did watch that Netflix documentary about the girl here in Texas, actually, East Texas, that pretended she was pregnant. And then, I'm not going to say anything else. It was so effing disturbing. I like the whole next day after watching that, I was just thank goodness I didn't have readings. You guys would have looked at me and been like, are you okay? No, I'm not. I think my body tells me that those things aren't true, that it's fake, it's fabricated, that doesn't exist, because I just don't know if I can function in a world where I know that level of darkness exists. So I guess call me naive. But I share all of these things because this is Neptune, the subtle undercurrent. This is why I always try my best to communicate with all the transits. Like, guys, I get it. Social media is here to stay. It's an amazing tool. I love that you can really help your community and get together as a community by using it. But also, there's something going on. There's some sort of manipulation, some sort of undercurrent between it. I mean, you can't deny. How many of us take a break from social media and say, I miss it? I miss it so much. I want to get back on it. Unless your real life is going really poorly and you're like, I just need to separate from reality for a minute. But, we're not going down that. That is a Neptune theme, though, addiction. So I guess it does kind of relay into the conversation. But Neptune retrograde is turning on the lights in the movie theater. It's turning on the lights and turning off the music at the club. And all of a sudden you see everybody around you who's covered in sweat and their makeup's dripping and everyone smells. And you're like, ew, get me out of... That vibe is gone. Vibe is bad. Get me out of here. It's like, ugh. Or if you're at like a high school dance or a middle school dance and you're like, ooh, my crush likes me and the music makes me think we're cool. And who's going to ask me to dance? And then all of a sudden the lights go on. Chaperones can see you. Get your hands off that butt. Don't touch her hips. And then your parents walk in to pick you up and you're like, oh my gosh, can I have Neptune back? It was really dreamy and so fun. Can we go back into Neptune La La Land? Neptune is dreams, imagination, intuition, compassion, fantasy, but also illusion, escapism, addiction, being led astray by faith, religion, spirituality. Those are the themes that Neptune rules. And so when it goes retrograde, turns off the fog machine, turns off those powers for a second. There's a purpose behind it. It's not just to turn on the lights and make you think, oh, life is so boring. I want to get into film, but I need the background music. It serves a purpose. Be sure to visit our website, astrology-lounge.com, to check out ways to work with me. I have private readings. We've got the foundational reading for those of you who are like, I only know my sun sign. I need help with all the rest. I got you. So many of you are really good at astrology. Like, you guys impress me when we meet for readings and you're like, what do you think about my Mars sextiling my sun in the 7th day? I'm like, wow, look at you go. You guys are natural. And then we have the Universe Package Mentorship. I did not expect to receive such a good response to that. Thank you guys for trusting me with your chart and your astrology education. It's the highest compliment. But that is a 5-session mentorship with me to teach you how to become an astrologer. Number one, I find most people, though, are investing in it to learn how to incorporate astrology into their current career. Top clients are therapists, counselors, people who want to bring that into their practice. Number two is teachers. A lot of nature school, Montessori, and public education teachers want to know how they can utilize astrology at a bare minimum, just understanding sun signs. So we do that. And then the vast majority, not the vast majority, but the rest of the people who invest in that mentorship with me simply just want to be able to feel confident enough to read the charts of their kids and their husband or wife and the rest of their family so that they can bring balance and understanding of who they are and the people around them are. And then we work on progressions, which is understanding the chapters and the eras in life that your kiddos are going through, that your spouse is going through, and that you're about to go through, just so you can be like, oh, I'm about to enter a progressed moon in Cancer era. Well, let me get my blanket, let me feel cozy, let me find someone who I trust to share my emotions, be vulnerable with. I'm ready. Let's crack our knuckles and go. So be sure to check all that out. Everything is on the website. We updated photos. We took some new headshots this weekend. So just go snoop around, see who you're taking this information from, that at the bare minimum, and check out our moon playlist. You guys are really loving adding songs to those. Neptune goes retrograde every single year. I know it's easy to make Neptune retrograde sound like it's this big special event of the year, but I'm not going to lie, guys, it's not special. It happens every year for about 5 months of the year. It's retrograde, and then it moves direct for about 7 months. So if you look at your chart, a friend's chart, partner's chart, you'll probably see a lot of people who were born during a retrograde. Because Neptune is an outer planet and it moves so slowly, it spends nearly half of every single year in a retrograde motion. So unlike Mercury retrograde, which happens quarterly, pretty much, it happens like 3 times a year. This retrograde of Neptune is simply part of its natural rhythm. It really is. So retrograde, you know what that means. Reassess, rethink, revise. Energy turns inward instead of expressing it outwardly. So instead of experiencing the fog machine and the background music and the whimsicalness of your crush falling in love with you in the external, it becomes internal. Internally, you're asking questions like, where was I supporting someone else's dream? Where did I get led astray by a belief system? A lot of people, when Neptune goes retrograde, leave religions, leave spiritual practices, because they begin to say like, whoa, what is that quote? They say, don't ever become friends with your idol or someone you look up to because you'll be disappointed. That is the most Neptune retrograde thing ever. Never become friends with someone that you have idolized and been a fan of, because it is going to pop your Neptune bubble so hard and you're going to feel so disheartened of like, wait, I idolized that person, but they're actually a piece of shit. I mean, they're not. They're just human. We're all pieces of poo-poo at the end of the day in some facet, but it hurts more because you put them out there as being such a perfect person. So a lot of people do that during Neptune retrogrades. The fog clears internally and they start to go, oh my gosh, what did I like in that person? Why did I let that friend treat me that way? Like, hello, wake up. What was going on? Neptune direct is, I believe, I feel the vibes. Neptune retrograde is, should I believe this? Is this a vibe, gut feeling, or is this anxiety? It's like a big giant reality check. So ways to describe Neptune retrograde is, instead of escaping, you reflect. Neptune rules addiction and mental health stuff, right? Those escapism tendencies. This could be such a good time if you've wanted to get sober, quit cigarettes, quit weed, quit alcohol, whatever your current vice may be. Porn, food, sweets, ice cream, greasy foods, gravies. Ooh, I'm hungry. This is a wonderful time to say, okay, fog is clear. I don't need that. I want to experience reality, the good, the bad, the ugly, sober. beautiful time to go after that if it feels right to you right now. Instead of just dreaming about, this is my dream, this is my goal, evaluate why. What is my why behind that dream? Does achieving that dream help people or just help me? Remember, that's kind of the lesson with Jupiter and Leo. Instead of blindly trusting religious people, spiritual people, me, podcasters, people, we have this invisible Neptunian friendship. Don't trust me all the time. Have discernment, right? That's so important when you're listening to podcasts. You have discernment. Why do I need someone to tell me how to connect to God? Can I do it by myself? Now let's add in the layer of Aries, identity, independence, courage, fighting spirit. Neptune dissolves, Aries initiates. This is such a weird pair, but here we are. Together they ask, who am I? But who am I really? It's been fun, but it hasn't been real fun. That's one of my favorite quotes. This is like the Neptune retrograde is saying, who did my parents tell me I was? Nope, gotta go. Who does society reward? What looks good on paper? I find so many people, and rightfully so, like I get it, but I'm also like, oh, this is an interesting social dynamic. Having a career on social media is amazing. Straight up, it's amazing. You get to work whenever you want, from wherever you want. Who doesn't love a bunch of likes and people saying you're amazing? Like, it's a human thing to like. But what goes up must come down. There's always another piece to it. And that's such a Neptunian thing. So many people got famous on the internet during the Neptune and Pisces transit. But then you realize the stark contrast between, I have 500,000 invisible friends from all over the world, but I'm eating dinner on my birthday alone. I have 1.7 million followers. But when I announce a merchandise drop, 17 people buy it. Ooh. Dean Schneider, one of my favorite YouTubers, the guy with the lions, amazing soul. He's a Libra, I believe. He had a whole YouTube about how he's got collectively over 10 million followers. Woo. And he needed to fundraise for the lions. I think they were sick or they needed to make a larger enclosure. And he thought, well, for sure, my community is going to come through. Nada. Barely touched the surface of the cost he needed. And so that is what I think of when I think of this Neptune thing, is like the age-old phrase, careful what you wish for because you just might get it. I wonder what the underlying theme of that phrase, careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Because don't you want dreams, right? You want to have a dream, but what does it mean you just might get it? Because you might get it and not be ready to handle it or have it. It's like, I dream of being a wife one day. I get married at 21. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I want to do with my life. And so we better grow together or we are destined to grow apart. Like, I got that marriage, woo, but shit. I didn't think I'd be like this when I was 31. This is hard because I feel like I'm dragging my partner through what I want to do, and I have no interest in who he is at 31. Like, it's tough. Careful what you wish for because you just might get it. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for this. So, Neptune going retrograde in the sign of Aries. Wait, it's going retrograde at 4 degrees Aries. You know what we're doing? Sabian symbols. Let's go. Sabian symbol for, since it's 4 degrees Aries, remember you always add 1. So we're going to look at 5 degrees Aries. Right, Jeffrey? You guys got to go to the website, scroll all the way down to the Meet Stephanie Powers section and look at the new picture of me and Jackson and Jeffrey, the pugs. So cute. And then I look at Jeffrey's face. Guys, he's getting so gray. I was looking at his old photos, like, what a dashing young man. Youth looks good on him. And then I look at him today in those photos. I'm like, holy shit. For those of you who have followed us from day one, I'm sure you see it, especially more than me because I'm with him every day. But, I see it. He's aging. It's wild. Oh, time keeps on slipping into the future. Oh, the Sabian symbol for 5 degrees Aries is a triangle with wings. What? This degree, and this is a AI overview on Google, this degree signifies the capacity for self-transcendence, pure aspiration, and the urge to rise above earthly limitations. It represents an awakening to higher levels of consciousness and a childlike longing for spiritual growth. What? Wow. Awareness of higher dimensions. Okay, what do we think? Do we think aliens are going to come down? Okay, now I'm on jamesburgess.com reading the Sabian symbol for 4 to 5 degrees Aries, a triangle with wings. It represents awareness of higher dimensions, finding the skills and values to rise to higher levels of consciousness. Whoa, unity experiencing duality. An innocent longing to know unity again. So we develop a taste for transcendent state of being. Wow, that's amazing. We see that our complete life journey will be directed so that eventually we can go back to where we came from and then reside in such an elevated state. This is the most Neptune Pisces thing ever. And the fact that Neptune's going retrograde on this Sabian symbol. Whoa. I mean, this perfectly fits in with what we talked about, July's astrology, with the Barbo's basket, 4 planets at 4 degrees, 4. Like, wow. This is fascinating. And then Neptune goes direct December 12th at 1 degrees Aries. So add 1, that would be 2 degrees Aries. The Sabian symbol for 2 degrees Aries, which covers 1 to 2, a comedian entertaining a group. So Sag season. This symbol represents the human need to connect with others through humor, bringing joy and revealing universal truths about human nature through playfulness and lightheartedness. It highlights the importance of shared laughter and seeing the lighter side of life. What? Let's go back to James Burgess. I like his descriptions. Adjustment to feedback, becoming able to see ourselves objectively from another's viewpoint. Interesting. So it's like Neptune's going retrograde and we are all finally awakening to like, hey, we need some unity because it's pretty lonely when you're divided. Yeah. And then it goes direct at adjustment to feedback, seeing another's viewpoint. Objectivity, says James Burgess, arises when we come to see that we exist within an extended sphere of reality, and when we can laugh at how insignificant we actually are within that inestimable cosmic world. We can see how silly our prideful self-love selves are, and within the context of the greater picture, how irrelevant are our personal thoughts and feelings. This symbol is a great leap forward on the path to realization when we release self-importance. A comedian reveals human nature. What, guys? I tell this to some of you in our private readings, but did you know the number 1 sign so far in the data I've collected, nobody funds my tests, just me. The number 1 sign of professional comedians are Virgos. Yes, it's Virgos. And I was like, that is what? But then I reflected and sat on it and I thought, that makes a lot of sense because Virgos know the best medicine for healing people is not always herbs, a healthy diet, a clean house, water. It's actually laughter and good energy. It's joy. After studying and participating in every strict diet under the sun, I can tell you the key to not gaining weight, the key to not having digestive issues is who and how you eat your food. That's a hill I will die on. Yes, I firmly believe that somebody can eat McDonald's for every meal. But if they are surrounded by people who love them, encourage them, are safe to share when they hurt their feelings with them, I genuinely believe the body just processes and digests. Now, with caveats, all right? Don't go to McDonald's and then sue me because you got sick. Stop it. No, you guys get it. I firmly believe in energy is what I'm trying to say. So those Sabian symbols going retrograde, at the triangle with wings and moving direct at a comedian revealing human nature. Guys, this feels less individual and more collective. I mean, of course, we are individuals woven in the collective consciousness, but I think we're all coming together. I guess that's just what I pull out of this. Ooh, you guys, I would love to hear what's coming up for you. Go to the website and fill out the contact form. Drop your sun and your moon sign and tell me what comes up for you when you think of these Sabian symbols. So during this retrograde, Neptune retrograde in Aries, many people individually may question, reassess, rethink their identity, their purpose, ambitions, what they're fighting for every day, whether they've been living authentically, all those Aries themes. Some people you may notice around you during this retrograde may completely change direction. Others may finally admit, shoot, I've been living in or I've been chasing someone else's dream. Now, if you were born when Neptune was direct, you may really feel this retrograde intensely. However, if you were born when Neptune was retrograde, your Neptunian powers and creativity, it's almost like you guys get the background music versus when it's direct, your background music is gone. Kind of like Mercury retrograde. When people are born during Mercury retrograde, they tend to do their best work, sign their best contracts, have bursts of creative energy during retrogrades versus they're like, my whole life is a miscommunication when Mercury is direct. So go check out your chart to see what that is. Collectively, big picture, Neptune going retrograde in Aries might reveal where society has been confused, overly idealistic, or simplistic about the themes related to Aries. So again, leadership, conflict, war, identity, independence. Who am I? We know very much people are gravitating towards identity politics, identity this, identity that. Identity has been such a huge theme as Chiron was in Aries. And so I think this will continue. I think with Neptune going retrograde and the sign of identity politics, we're going to find peace. And I think by the end of July, it's going to be this realization that it has never been that side versus that side. It's always been us versus something else. No different than a close relationship, right? People can get into such gnarly fights not realizing it's us versus a problem, not us versus each other. I would say that collectively during this retrograde from now, July 7th until December 12th, long-held narratives can come up to be questioned. I think the continuation of people becoming more skeptical of very egotistical figures, public figures, celebrities, definitely some emotionally charged movements. Epstein list may be finally put out there. I don't think we're going to be as susceptible to blindly following bold Aries, Leo type personalities. There's actually highly likely to be more questioning of, is this person actually true? Like, I kind of wrapped up my identity in being a fan of that person, and I don't know if this aligns with my values anymore, but this is kind of an identity crisis. And if I let go of being a fan of that person or a supporter of that person, who am I? What flag do I put in my driveway? What do I do? Right? And then that comes with a realization of, why did I even give away my identity to that? Where did I lose myself? Neptune's effects unfold very slowly. So it's not like by the end of July, even though it's a very packed month, you'll see these things. It's likely to emerge over months rather than just, we wake up and something happens. So things we may see during this retrograde is, of course, leaders exposed, false heroes coming out, performative bravery, war, identity movements evolve, people becoming less interested in picking a side and more interested in facts and authenticity. So individually, personally, I think it's a great time to ask, who am I without my job? Who am I without my relationship? Who am I if I didn't have kids? Without everyone else's expectations? Who am I if I'm not afraid to go after what my soul wants? Neptune, that's the word for Neptune, soul. Neptune wants your soul's truth, not your life resume. Some things to do during Neptune retrograde: instead of pushing harder, slow down enough to listen. So again, all the Neptunian things, Reiki therapy, meditation, journaling, dream work, one of my favorites, dream work. Ask for a sign, don't ignore it. Of course, Neptune is the god of the sea. Spend time near water, art therapy, creating art, reading a book, reducing distractions. Notice where you've been over idolizing political figures, religious figures. Spirit, where did you get lost in celebrity news and forget how to create your own life, right? Neptune retrograde is less about forcing things and more about creating space to just have insight and then act on them when Neptune moves direct. So collectively, what can we all do? Simple. What we should always do, honestly. Practice more compassion. Judge less. Question everything, but be sure to not get lost, right? Don't become too cynical. Support your favorite artists. Support healing. I love movements where artists are like, I'm trying to be an independent artist and not get a record deal. Will you buy my CD? Yes, I will. Value your mental health. Work on getting sober. Because Neptune is the sea and water as a whole, protect oceans, waterways, go and volunteer or just go on your own to clean up the beach, do things with the ocean. Help people who are mentally struggling. You know, we have an addiction crisis here in America, and I think that as Neptune goes retrograde, it's going to become so glaringly obvious. I've said it multiple times. We love Peter Santinello. He's he's probably our favorite YouTuber here at the ranch. And he just released an episode about Philadelphia. I grew up in New England. I've been through Philly a few times, but the parts of the city that he showed where there are people just walking by, people drugged out, leaning over, sleeping on the ground, and people are stepping over them to catch a train. That's not, we should never become immune to that. It's terrifying that we have. I think Neptune going retrograde is going to be a final straw for things like that. Like, we have to do something, and it has to be enacted now. So remember, Neptune goes retrograde every year for almost half of the year. And it's a wonderful time. It's a time, it doesn't destroy dreams. It doesn't force you to be sober. And it's like, all the good things in life, like sex and ice cream and cookies and crushes and fantasy and love and people and lust and music. Those things do not have to go away. They do not get destroyed. They just ask whether it's still something your soul wants. It's a very heart-centered transit. It is not about becoming very Saturnian, pessimistic. It's about allowing illusion to fall away so that whatever remains has a stronger foundation in truth. So I love these times because it is, hey, when I achieve my dream, I want it to stay. I don't want to achieve my dream of having a house on the Atlantic side in the Florida Keys only to discover I can't afford the property taxes and get it taken away after 6 months. No, thank you. I want it to be in the family for forever and ever, amen. So Neptune's going retrograde. Let me see how much those taxes are. Let me see how much I have to make and save and invest and boo. Okay, now I'm going into my dream prepared. That's just the only example I can give you guys. Relationships, love, right? That's the most Neptunian thing ever, right? If I want to become famous on the internet and I'm prepared, am I prepared to hear every nasty thing about me ever? Am I prepared for people to send me gross DMs and reach out to my partner and my friends and my family and say nasty things? Am I prepared for how I'm going to handle that? It's just true. It's just true. Neptune, I want to fall in love. My dream is to find the right partner. Well, am I prepared to go through the highs and lows to ensure that this romance stands the test of time and doesn't end? That's what Neptune retrograde is asking all of us to do, just to get anchored in the truth. So we're doing some fire horoscopes. Here we go. I'm going to try and give you guys a one-liner. Let me pull up a chart so I have a reference point for Neptune going retrograde. And again, the Neptune goes Gatorade 5 months out of every year. So important to look at, but honestly, you feel it, you've lived through it, and I bet a lot of you listening were born during a Neptune retrograde, you spiritual animals. All right, Aries rising. You guys have Neptune going retrograde in your first house. You're discovering that your greatest identity might not be the one you've been going after. It's the one you've been all along. You may really see who you are, what you want, where you want to go, who you want to go there with. This is a wonderful time for clarity. Taurus rising, this is your 12th house. So the subconscious, the masks you've worn in private begin to dissolve. You could go through real deep healing, spiritual renewal, and finally have the courage, Aries, to face what you may have been avoiding for quite a while, especially since January when Neptune moved into your 12th house. Gemini rising, your vision for the future, this is your 11th house, so your future, your community, your friends, your vision for the future evolves as you realize that not every friendship or dream is meant to come with you into your next chapter. Gemini risings, you guys have had Uranus in your first house, a lot of energy going through that house. I can't tell you enough to trim the fat when it comes to who you associate with, because that's going to lead you into that dream that I think a lot of you have had for decades. Cancer rising, this is your 10th house of career. You guys are redefining success and legacy. I know I have a lot of Cancer risings who are retired, and then a lot that are currently like, I'm almost 40 and I have nothing to show for it. I get it. With Neptune here, you're trading the need for outside approval for a career and purpose, and you're moving towards a purpose that genuinely fulfills your soul. So Cancer risings, you guys are simply looking back on, you're answering the question during this retrograde of, what do I want people to celebrate me for at my funeral? Kind of stark, but a really good question to ask yourself. What do I want to do with the rest of my time on earth? Leo rising, this is your 9th house. Belief systems, philosophies, life plans may dissolve around this time, so you can discover a truth that feels authentic instead of an inherited belief. You guys are getting really firm on what you believe about everything in life, what you can achieve as an individual, what you believe about marriage, what you believe about what friends should be like. This is a really important transit to pay attention to. Virgo rising, this is your 8th house. Ooh, you're peeling back emotional layers. You are healing hidden fears around trust, sex, shared money, intimacy, so that you can experience deeper transformation and experience the deepest parts of life without worrying about if it's going to end. Libra rising, ooh, this is your 7th house of marriage, love, and partnership. So when Neptune goes retrograde here, your relationships become mirrors like they always are for you guys, helping you see the difference between loving someone's potential and seeing who they truly are. Simply put, Libra rising, during this time period of Neptune retrograde in that house, if you're married, you're seeing someone for who they are. If you're dating someone, you're seeing someone without the red flags. You're seeing someone without the projection of love. Libra risings during this, always remember that the way you see people is how you see yourself. If you have loved someone that didn't deserve it, it's because that love exists within you, and you're likely to really realize that during this time. Scorpio rising, this is your 6th house. Daily routines, work, health habits, they're all asking for a reset so that your life supports your spirit instead of draining it. You guys are being asked to look at the details. Are you working out? Are you drinking water? Are you protecting your energy every day? That's not the sexiest transit or funnest, but it's one that makes a huge deal with everything else. Sagittarius, this is your 5th house. Creativity, fertility, joy, romance, relationship with children you already have. All of this is inviting you to Neptune retrograde. Stop performing and start expressing your genuine heart. You're seeing the reality of a creative project. You are seeing, this could be like, do I want to make money from this creative project? Like, what's my why? Romance. Maybe you have been romanticizing someone, something, and now you're getting real on, I don't know if that's that quote I said. Is this fun or hasn't been? This was fun, but it wasn't real fun. And then with fertility, there might be a fertility breakthrough. Actually, as Neptune goes retrograde, you can see clearly what you need to do in order to conceive. And then if you have children, this could simply be, okay, I've been glossing over how I see my children. Now I see them for what and who they really are and make moves from there. Capricorn rising, this is your 4th house of home, family, the roots. Old family stories, old emotional foundations begin to soften and crack. This makes room to redefine what home and family and true inner security actually mean to you. You guys are always so focused on the legacy, the top of the chart, the career. This is very important for you to realize, whoa, Am I living my family's dream? Am I doing the job that my dad always did? Or is this what I actually want? Am I acting like my dad? Am I acting like my mom? This is a really important one, Caps. Come see me if you need help. Aquarius rising, third house. Your voice evolves as you become more intentional about what you believe, what you say, and the stories that you tell yourself every day. Aquarius rising, as you've had Neptune going through your third house, maybe you've felt very psychic, intuitive, but during this time, you'll start to see where your words may have hurt people or where you've let people talk to you in a way that maybe you shouldn't have. If you guys have felt writer's block, this is probably a time where you might have a breakthrough or realize how you can fix that. But regardless, this is your time to write, teach, and speak. Let's go. Pisces rising, this is your second house. Reimagining, rethinking your relationship with money, your self-worth, and your overall sense of security by recognizing that your greatest value in life can't be measured by your bank account. When Neptune goes retrograde in Aries in the second house, this is, who have I been glossing over the fact that at the end of the day, they don't respect me. They don't respect my money. They don't respect my time. They do not value me as a person. You might start to see that clearly and then, make moves. As such, set boundaries. Have a conversation with this. So, guys, that's it. That's all I've got. Neptune retrograde is not here to take something away. It's not here to make life so boring and not have the fun. No, it's here to gently wash away whatever was never truly you or for you, so that the real authentic you has room to emerge and achieve that dream and keep that dream, right? Neptune retrograde is rearranging our soul's purpose, subtle, gradual. And, Neptune retrogrades, because they're so long, similar to Pluto retrogrades or Uranus retrogrades, it often makes sense and you see the work that was done when you look back months later and realize how that time period really helped your vision become crystal clear of what to do moving forward. So, guys, I'm turning the lights on. This podcast is over. Get to work. Just stop just wishing for things to happen and start going to make them happen. Stop listening to liars. Stop lying if you do. Stop playing victim against people who are repeating patterns and giving you the same outcome every single time, and you're blaming it on them. Well, Neptune's going retrograde. It's time to blame yourself. That's what this is saying. Neptune wants you to move forward and have a clean conscience, clear energy field, not be trapped. Neptune says, I'm going to give you your greatest dream, but boy, you better build a container to protect it. You better have boundaries to protect it. I'm going to give you the love of your life, but the entire world is going to throw rocks at your glass house if you share it on the internet. We want to build insurance and protection with our dream and our energy and our soul. We want to be a person who can be so happy and whimsical and joyful without letting other people's energy affect that. And Neptune retrograde is a time to go to the proverbial soul's gym to get strong and protect those things. Guys, I'm out of here. Visit astrology-lounge.com to work one-on-one with me. We can take a look at where in your chart this Neptune retrograde is hitting and see how it's playing with the rest of your chart. Visit the website, visit the show notes, and I'll be here for the next episode. Sending so much love from beautiful Twin Moon Ranch outside of Austin, Texas. I'll see you next time. Class dismissed. Bye, guys.